She's never home, my ex-husband declared to the courtroom, his voice dripping with false concern as he gestured toward me. Always working, always choosing her career over our children. I'm the real parent here, Your Honor. But as Judge Patricia Thornton lifted her eyes from the custody petition and studied my face, her expression shifted from professional neutrality to something I hadn't expected: recognition. My name is Sofia Martinez, and I'm about to tell you how 8 years of hard work came full circle in a courtroom where my ex tried to steal my children. The morning had started like any other court appearance. I dressed carefully in my best suit, the navy one that made me look both professional and maternal. My twins, Elena and Carlos, were with my mother, blissfully unaware that their father was trying to rip them from the only stable home they'd known. Trevor and I had divorced 2 years ago when the twins were 3. The split was inevitable. He'd never accepted my career as a public defender, constantly complaining that I cared more about criminals than my own family. The truth was simpler. I cared about justice, and Trevor only cared about himself. During our marriage, he'd work sporadically, jumping between sales jobs and get-rich-quick schemes while I carried the financial load. He'd been happy enough to live off my salary, but resentful of the hours that salary required. When I worked late on a case, he'd send passive-aggressive texts. When I won a difficult trial, he'd sulk instead of celebrate. The breaking point came when I was defending a teenager wrongly accused of armed robbery. The case required long hours of investigation, witness interviews, and late-night prep. Trevor gave me an ultimatum: the case or the family. I tried to explain that ensuring an innocent kid didn't spend 20 years in prison was protecting family, just someone else's. He filed for divorce the next week. For 2 years, we'd maintained a decent co-parenting arrangement. I had primary custody, he had weekends. The twins thrived in their routine: school during the week with me, fun weekends with Dad. I'd thought we'd found our rhythm. Then Trevor met Miranda. Miranda was everything Trevor had wanted me to be: wealthy, unemployed, and utterly devoted to him. Her father owned a chain of luxury car dealerships, and suddenly Trevor was driving a BMW and wearing designer suits. More importantly, Miranda couldn't have children of her own. She'd be such a wonderful mother to the twins, Trevor had mentioned casually during a pickup. She's always home, you know. Available. The subtext wasn't subtle. Neither were the changes that followed. Suddenly, Trevor documented every time I was 5 minutes late to pick up. He photographed every pizza dinner, implying neglect. He hired a private investigator to track my work hours. Then came the lawsuit. Your Honor, Trevor's lawyer, a shark in Armani, addressed the court. We're seeking full custody based on the mother's chronic unavailability. Ms. Martinez works upward of 60 hours a week defending criminals, leaving her 5-year-old children in the care of various babysitters and relatives. I work to support my children, I interjected, earning a sharp look from my own lawyer. You work because you're addicted to the job, Trevor said, turning to me. When was the last time you made it to a school play? A soccer game? When did you last cook them a real meal instead of ordering takeout? Each accusation stung because there was truth mixed with the lies. Yes, I worked long hours. Yes, I'd missed some events. Yes, we ate takeout more than I'd like. But I was there for bedtime stories. I was there for nightmares and homework and scraped knees. I was there in all the ways that mattered. Ms. Martinez, Judge Thornton finally spoke, her voice cutting through Trevor's rehearsed complaints. You look familiar. Have we appeared before this court previously? My lawyer shifted nervously. We'd researched Judge Thornton extensively. Tough but fair, a stickler for procedure, no apparent connection to either party. This wasn't in our prep. I don't believe so, Your Honor, I said carefully. I primarily work criminal defense, not family law. The judge leaned forward, studying me with intense brown eyes. Criminal defense. Public Defender's Office. Yes, Your Honor. 8 years now. 8 years. She sat back, a small smile playing at her lips. And before that? Where did you start your career? Trevor's lawyer looked confused. This wasn't standard custody hearing procedure. I worked at Patterson and Associates while waiting for my public defender appointment, I answered, unsure where this was leading. 2016, the judge pressed. Yes, Your Honor. October 2016, to be specific. The Coleman case. My breath caught. Suddenly, I was back in that cramped conference room, across from a terrified 19-year-old girl and her desperate mother. The girl, Letitia Coleman, had been arrested for possession with intent to distribute after her boyfriend hid drugs in her apartment. She faced 15 years. Her mother, a hotel housekeeper, had spent everything on a lawyer who'd taken the money and done nothing. You remember, Judge Thornton said softly. I can see it on your face. I remember, I whispered. Tell the court about the Coleman case, Ms. Martinez. Trevor's lawyer stood. Objection, Your Honor. Relevance? Overruled. Ms. Martinez? I cleared my throat, transported back. Letitia Coleman was a college student accused of drug possession. Her boyfriend was the actual dealer, but he disappeared, leaving her to take the fall. Her mother had paid her entire savings to a lawyer who never filed a single motion. And you were? A law school graduate waiting for bar results. I was doing intake at Patterson when Mrs. Coleman came in, crying. The firm wouldn't take the case. No money left. But I couldn't let it go. What did you do? I studied every similar case I could find. Wrote motions on my own time. When I passed the bar, I filed to represent Letitia pro bono. My first real case. And the result? Full acquittal. We proved the boyfriend's fingerprints were on the drug packaging, not hers. Found witnesses who saw him using her apartment when she wasn't there. She went back to college, graduated with honors. Judge Thornton's smile widened. Your Honor, I should disclose. Letitia Coleman is my daughter. My baby. Ms. Martinez saved her life. The courtroom went silent. Trevor's smug expression crumbled. His lawyer frantically flipped through notes, searching for some protocol to object to. Patricia Thornton, I breathed. You went by Patricia Coleman then. You're Letitia's mother. I remarried, she confirmed. Took my husband's name when I went to law school. Yes, law school. Inspired by watching you fight for my child. You worked 18-hour days on her case, Ms. Martinez. For free. While studying for the bar. While working full-time. You never once complained about the hours. She turned to Trevor, her warm expression cooling to judicial ice. Mr. Morrison, you claim Ms. Martinez works too much. Let me tell you about too much. This woman spent 3 months of her life saving a stranger's daughter. She refused payment even when I got my settlement from the previous lawyer's malpractice. She told me, use it for Letitia's education. Your Honor, Trevor's lawyer tried. This is heartwarming. But I'm not finished, Judge Thornton snapped. Do you know what Letitia does now, 8 years later? She's a social worker specializing in at-risk youth. She's helped dozens of kids avoid the system that almost swallowed her. Because one public defender thought she was worth fighting for. She focused on Trevor again. You say Ms. Martinez chooses criminals over her children. I say she teaches her children that every person deserves justice. That working hard for others is noble. That sacrifice for the greater good is what makes us human. But the hours. Trevor started. Yes, let's discuss hours. The judge interrupted. Mr. Morrison, you're currently unemployed, correct? Trevor shifted. I'm between opportunities. For how long? 6 months, but Miranda. Your girlfriend supports you. His face reddened. We're planning our future together. I see. So you have unlimited free time, yet you only request full custody now. Not when you were single. Only after finding a wealthy partner. That's not. Ms. Martinez, Judge Thornton turned back to me, Tell me about your childcare arrangements. My mother watches them after school, I said. She's a retired teacher. They do homework, have home-cooked meals. If I'm late, they have a bedtime routine. I call every night I'm not there to say goodnight. And financially, I provide everything. Health insurance, education savings, extracurriculars. Trevor pays no child support due to his employment situation. Judge Thornton nodded. I've reviewed the custody evaluation. The children are thriving. Excellent grades, well-adjusted, clearly bonded with both parents but primarily attached to their mother. The evaluator noted, and I quote, "The children understand mommy helps people who need it and are proud of her work." She shuffled papers, then looked directly at Trevor. Mr. Morrison, you've accused Ms. Martinez of being an absent parent because she works. Yet you've been absent from employment for 6 months. You've accused her of choosing career over family, yet you chose to leave the marriage rather than support her career. You claim she can't provide proper care, yet she's been the sole provider for years. Your Honor, Trevor's lawyer stood. My client simply wants what's best. What's best for children, Judge Thornton said firmly, is to remain with the parent who has consistently provided for them, who models hard work and compassion, and who has created a stable environment despite the challenges of single parenthood. She turned to me one last time. Ms. Martinez, I owe you a debt I can never repay. You gave me my daughter back. But this decision isn't about that debt. It's about the facts presented. Your work doesn't make you an unfit mother. It makes you an exceptional role model. Motion for change of custody denied, she announced. Furthermore, given Mr. Morrison's improved financial situation through his relationship, I'm ordering a child support review. Court dismissed. The gavel came down with finality. Trevor sat frozen, his mouth open. His lawyer muttered about appeals and judicial bias. But I wasn't listening. I was staring at Judge Thornton, Patricia Coleman, as she gathered her papers. She caught my eye and mouthed, "Thank you." I mouthed back, "Thank you." Outside the courthouse, my lawyer was ecstatic. In 30 years of practice, I've never seen anything like that. What are the odds? It wasn't luck, I said, watching Trevor storm off with Miranda. It was karma. Or justice. Maybe they're the same thing. That night, I hugged my twins extra tight. "Mommy, why are you crying?" Elena asked. "Happy tears, baby. Sometimes good things come back to you. Like when I shared my cookies with Marcus and he gave me his fruit snacks," Carlos offered. "Exactly like that," I laughed. Later, after they were asleep, I found an email in my inbox. Ms. Martinez, I couldn't say this in court, but I need you to know. Letitia is getting married next spring. She's marrying a wonderful man who respects her past and her strength. None of this would have happened without you. Every time I put on these robes, I think about the lawyer who taught me that justice isn't about winning. It's about fighting for people who can't fight for themselves. You didn't just save my daughter, you created a legacy. Keep working those long hours. Your children will understand one day, just as Letitia did. With eternal gratitude, Patricia Thornton. P.S. Trevor's motion for reconsideration will be denied. Any judge who takes the case will see my notes about his financial deception and manipulation. Your twins are safe. I poured a glass of wine and stood on my apartment balcony, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, Letitia Coleman was living her life, helping others. Somewhere, Judge Patricia Thornton was probably reviewing tomorrow's cases. And somewhere, my ex-husband was learning that working mothers aren't weak, we're warriors. The next morning, I walked into the public defender's office with my head high. My colleague raised an eyebrow. "You look different. Good news." "The best," I said. "Turns out the long hours are worth it after all." Trevor dropped the custody suit. "Better. He got schooled by Karma wearing a black robe." She laughed. "Now that's justice." "Yes," I thought, settling at my desk and opening the next case file. "Sometimes it really is."